Hey guys, this is Mark. In this video, I will demonstrate how to use UI Builder and Codeless logic to get a count of files and directories in the file storage of your backendless application. If you are working on backendless missions and you are on the task to get the file count using APIs, this is exactly the task that you will need to perform, so this video will help you out. Counting files is one of the APIs in backendless that gives you quite a bit of flexibility, because you can count by using a pattern. You can count a pattern of files, that is. You can count recursively, where you specify a directory and you just go through the entire hierarchy to get the actual count of the files. Anyway, we will start with just adding a button that will initiate the count. So let me drag a button component. Let me also add an input component where we can specify, and the user will type in the name of the directory where to get that count. And finally, there will be one additional element where we can just display how many files were found. So let's just start assigning IDs and the names and labels for all these three components. So here, let's type in the directory name is going to be the label. The button will say count files. By the way, let's also assign the IDs. Directory name input. And this is count files button. And then this will be initially a hidden field, a hidden text field. And with the ID will be files count. Let's also set the data binding, and let's say that the content will be bound to the property files count. That's all we need on the UI side. And by the way, the directory name also needs to have data binding. And in the value logic, we will say it is directory name. And now everything is ready to add the logic. So count files, click the button, switch to the logic. And in the onClick event, if you look under File API, you will see a block that says Get Files Count. This one. So the path in here, we will make it dynamic. This is what the user types in. And for this, if we go to Object and get the property, it will be the property in page data, and the property is directory name. Remember, this is the property that we bound that input field to. The pattern that we will use, it will look only for HTML files. So use star.html, which is the standard notation to identify patterns for files. You can use any pattern you want. Star.html is something that we need for the missions task, if this is what you're doing. And then subdirectories, we will say it is true. And for count directories, we'll set it to false, so we'll count only the files. All right, and let's see. So this will return the number of files, and then since we have a text field that is bound to a property, we will set that property in page data, and I think we called it files count. We will double check that. So what we have going on here is we get the directory name from page data. We initiate the files count in the directory that was specified here, looking only for files that have the .html extension. We will count the files in subdirectories, meaning that this is going to be a recursive operation, and the actual directory entries, we're not interested in them. That's it. Whatever this guy returns, we put it into page data and bind into the files count property. Let's double check that this is indeed files count. I always wanted to verify. So the ID is files count, but what we want is the actual name. So this is what matters from the data binding perspective. So let's run this page and see how well it works. So now if we type in the directory such as web, click count files. Oh, remember, we made that field invisible, and this one, see, we turned off the display. So something that I forgot to do is to change visibility. So as soon as we get this data, we will need to toggle visibility for our text field, and that will be files count field, and we want to make it visible. All right, so now it should work exactly as we expect. Let's rerun this page and repeat for the web directory count files. There you go. So we have 8.html files in the web directory. It is as simple as that. And this is the component, this is the block to use. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you found it useful. And as always, happy codeless coding.